Okay, Likutei Moharan, Torah Yud, we are holding Vasif base. We started, the Rebbe started, Ela Mishpotim Tasim Lefneim, Chas Chalila, there's dinim on Am Yisrael. The verse Am Yisrael made us a din because there are sins. By dancing and clapping the hands, this is a tokas of dinim. We said the main Gdula of Kodesh Baruch Hu is when the Goyim also know that Hashem rules the land. As we said in the Zohar, when Yisrael said, now I know that Hashem is greater than all the deities, then that elevated the nerve of Kodesh Baruch Hu in upper worlds and in the lower worlds. The logic of it is, if you have, let's say, Saddam Hussein, all right, and he says 12 o'clock, everybody jumps. So the fact that in his headquarters everybody jumps, that shows that they're afraid of him there, but that's not a real galus of his koyach, how far his koyach reaches. At the very, very end of Iraq, when nobody sees 12 o'clock, a falah, to say with his, whatever it is, tilling the land, 12 o'clock, and he jumps, there's nobody around. The end of Iraq, wow, that shows you how far-reaching is the authority of Saddam Hussein. $5 when somebody is so far, like Yisrael, says, Hashem is the Melech, that shows, the Mata and much more far-reaching zones and areas. This also is why when Uri Zohar made Tshuva, it was so important, because he was such a bandit before. So the greater a bandit he was before, the greater Kiddush Hashem he made when he made Tshuva. So this was as galus that started the stampede of people doing Tshuva. Sif Gimel. Now, the Goyim, they have no way of knowing the greatness of Kodesh Baruch Hu. The only way that the Goyim can perceive the reign of Kodesh Baruch Hu is through Bechina of Yaakov. It says that also Lovoi, all the Goyim will come and to Beis Hamikdash and will all recognize the monarchy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they'll know that from Beis Hamikdash the words of Hashem is coming out, and they'll say to the Jews the following: Beis Yaakov, lechu v'nelcha be'or Hashem. We will walk together with you in the light of Hashem. And the fact that the Goyim are going to call this Beis Yaakov, they're going to call the Jews the house of Jacob, what is alluded to in this is that they will recognize the kingdom of Hashem through the aspect of Yaakov. Again, the asaga that the Kodesh Baruch Hu is a melech, you need to have a keli. All the time, you cannot capture a light of any kind of shefa without a keli. We're saying it, whatever it is that we learn, we're saying it. So this is, it says, is the Goyim, you're wondering, like, why do the Christians, use the Bible and then they put on top of it the New Testament? And the Muslims, they took the Bible and then they put, the Quran on top of it. And anybody else, any other kind of religion in the world that does not use the Bible as a basis is automatically an Avodah Zarah. There are all kinds of Buddhist, Shmudist, Buddhist, whatever you want. If it's not based, why? Why don't you have another religion that Hashem is, a monotheistic religion that Hashem is the day, which is not based on the Bible. There's no such thing. Is because the Bible is Bes Yaakov. That's the Keli of Yaakov. They need Yaakov to be their Keli to perceive the kingdom of Hashem. And it says that the reason for who Gilo Kusish LaKodesh Baruch Hu, because Yaakov, why is it called Dafka Bes Yaakov? Why not Bes Avraham or Bes Yitzchak? Why Dafka Bes Yaakov? Because Yaakov Avinu has revealed the godliness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world more than the other patriarchs. In the Gemara it says, L'osid Lavoi, there will be a lot of nations says, okay, let's go to Har Hashem, let's go to the mountain of Hashem, El Beis Elokei Yaakov, to the house of the Lord of Yaakov, and he will teach us from his ways, and we'll go, whatever it is that is said over there. In other words, the Goyim will come to Beis HaMikdash. And the Gemara says, why does it say Beis Yaakov? What, it's not Elokei Avraham, Yitzchak? So the Gemara gives a reason. It says, Avram Kroi Har. Avram called the house, the place of the Beis HaMikdash, he called it the mountain. And he said, Asher Yamer Hayom Behar Hashem Yiroi. Hashem will reveal himself in the mountain. When he took Yitzchak to the Akedah. Yitzchak Kroi Soda. Yitzchak called the place of Beis HaMikdash, he called it the field. He said, because he said, Yitzchak Asorach Basada, right? Yitzchak went make his Veda, in the field, went to Davar Mincha. Yaakov called the place of the Mikdash Bais. When he slept, he had a dream. He says, because it's a Beis Elokim, this is the house of Elokim, this is the gate of heaven, this is the Sha'ar Shemayim. So Avram called it the mountain, Yitzchak called it a field, and Yaakov called it a house. You can see that there's an action of specificity. It becomes more specific. It's just a mountain. Then it's a field. The field is something which is, as you'll see now. And a house is a more important, more usable place than this field and a mountain. In other words, Yaakov Avinu has elevated the Mokam of the Beis HaMikdash to a higher degree, which is called Bais. And that enables the Goyim also to recognize the kingdom of Hashem. It's so specific, which means it's so accessible. He made it accessible for them. And this is why he says, the Goyim are going to say, Bes Yaakov, let's go to Bes Yaakov. And this is alluded to in the words of the Gemara. It says, a field is a more necessary concept, to humanity than a mountain. Because a field, you can sow, you can make different houses. A field, what can you do? It's just stupid Goyim can go climb it. Why do you climb it? Because it is there. Okay. Yaakov called Bais, and Yaakov called it Bais, which is Shuhu Mekom Yishuv Bnei Adam Yoter Misoda. It is a place. It's a place for human dwelling more than a mountain and a field. Yaakov called it Amokem Es Hamikdash. Yaakov called the place of the Mikdash Mokom Tefillah. Beis Hamikdash is a place of Tefillah. As Hashem said, He based Tefillah Yikol Kolon, right? And he called it Bais, Shulkom Yishuv Bnei Adam. That's a place, a dwelling place for people. Kihelo es Tefillah. He elevated the aspect of Tefillah Mehar V'Sadeh Lebchinas Bais. From merely a mountain through a more specific concept of field to Bais. Sheyesh bo tfisa bnei adam yeser mihar v'sodeh. People grasp a house more than just a field or a mountain. Ki b'chinas Bais is gam la'akum. So the Goyim have a sogen in b'chinas Bais. And it says, Kmo shekosuv, ki beis tefillah ikol l'kol ha'amim. my house is a base tefillah, as a house of tefillah to all the nations. Once it's Beis Hamikdash is called a house, then all the nations can pray. So we can see the Beis Hamikdash is a place of tefillah because it's called Bais. Then it will be called to all the nations. Then all the nations will have a saga in Shaykhs. Yaakov has elevated the tefillah to such a high madrega. With this, the Jews can understand the cheshivas of tefillah, that you cannot possibly live without it. It's like the tefillah is like a bais. A tefillah is like a home. You can't live without a home. Anybody who's a homeless is not a mensch. So Yaakov Avinu has elevated the tefillah to such a degree that a Jew realizes this thing is living without tefillah. A tefillah is like a bais. That's my home. I live in tefillah. Which is something which is very necessary to people. Mimele, they will daven for every little detail. And you put koyches in tefillah, and you realize how much Hashem loves you, and how much He wants you to tefillah, and you realize that all the shefa which is in the world comes only through tefillah. And when a Yidden will come to such madrega of emunah and they will daven like that, this will trickle down, will have a trickle down effect on the goyim, and they will also recognize the greatness and the kingdom of Hashem, because the emunah will spread throughout the world. This is what I told you when you asked me, if I see something in my house, this is wrong, what should I tell her, what should I not tell her? I thought, don't worry about it. The only thing that you need to do is you need to do yours. You have to turn tefillah into your home. When you turn tefillah into your home, there will be a trickle-down effect that will affect everybody. Everybody will recognize it. Each one according to where he is, where he's at. But when you live in tefillah, suddenly you're radiating emunah. The emunah, it reaches everywhere. Kibbutz-based tefillah, when tefillah is your home, and you put koyches into it, everybody in your house will have emunah. Some will have okay, I'll go to shul. Some will have we'll daven a little bit more. Some will, maybe dress a little more tzniusdik. Some will. It will influence each and every. It will touch everybody. You should work on yourself, because when the Yidden will call tefillah their bias, the goyim will also recognize. The goyim kavachomer yom mishpacha. When the goyim will see the tefillah of the Yidden or miskabel, they'll know that there's an Elokim Shalit, that the Kodesh Baruch Hu rules the world. And when kshu b'chinas bias, when the tefillah is bias, this already exalts the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as we said before, because we said before, the main greatness of Hashem is when those who are very far, who's farther than the Goyim, they also recognize the Malchus of Hashem. Ad kan for today.